What is up, everybody? My name is Wes, and that is correct. I have beat 51 games so far this year. Um, I had a goal to beat 24, and we've almost doubled it. Or actually, we have doubled it and some. We're coming off the Five Nights at Freddy's spree where we beat all those games in a row, and yeah, it's time to rank everything. Now, I am doing these a few times a year to try and basically I like to see how games sit with me after it's been a little while. Do my ratings change? Do I feel more or lesser about a game as time goes on? I feel like it's important to do that because then you may hated a game in the moment, and then as you sit with it longer and longer, you realize you actually enjoyed it. So without further ado, we're going to hop into this. These are, if you want to stop here and read, this is how I rank games. I do game reviews. You're going to see some of them with scores, some of them without, because I don't want to spoil those videos because they're not quite out yet. Keep in mind, these reviews aren't against each other. And like when I do a review, it's just for that game. It's not based off of the other games I've reviewed. So some scores are going to be higher and lower, but that doesn't mean that they're going to rank higher on my list, if that makes any sense. First and foremost, still the worst game that I've played this year was Daemonology. Just not a full game, but maybe one day it'll be better. Mannequin. It was a Oliver Tree mannequin following us around, and it is not a great game. 49 was Don't Look Back. It's a little indie horror game that has a couple creepy moments, but overall it's not so awesome. But it is free, I believe. Fear the Unknown, Dave's Story, little UFO story narrative that takes about 25 minutes to beat. Just overall not that great. This is the first one that I really disliked. It's a pretty high budget game. This is Alone in the Dark, or as I like to call it, store brand Resident Evil. It's very much a Resident Evil style game, but with its own, I guess, story and visual. There was parts of this game that were 10 out of 10. There was a lot of this game that was 1 out of 10. It has sat with me, and maybe I'll adjust my score by the end of the year, but I'm putting it here. 46, another game that just really didn't sit with me well. As time has gone on, I feel like I was pretty harsh on this game for what it was. That's A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. I kind of want to. I did play it on the hardest difficulty, and I feel like it ruined the fun. So maybe that was the issue. I do kind of want to revisit this at a later date and see if maybe I was a little too harsh with it. Those Who Remain, kind of a medium budget horror game. It just wasn't fun to play. There was a couple parts where it was really awesome, but overall just not that. 44 is going to be our first Five Nights at Freddy's game, and I'm going to put Into the Pit. It was a vastly different style game than all of the other Five Nights at Freddy's games, even compared to Security Breach and Secret of the Mimic. Just really not fun to play. 43 is Emissary Zero. This is a multiplayer horror game. The game itself was okay, but man, is it so fun to play a game like this with your friends. I highly recommend it if you got 3 or 4 buddies you want to hop online and play with. It's a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of laughs. 42, I'm going to put Five Nights at Freddy's 3. For me, this is the weakest of the main Five Nights at Freddy's games before they changed up the recipe. It just wasn't great. 41 is going to be Monster Train 2. So I have a handful of games like this that are like Slay the Spire games. I don't know what genre that is, but I do play a lot of these, not on stream. All these other games I've beaten and played on stream. All these Slay the Spire and Peglin like games I play off stream, usually when I'm watching movies or editing or different things like that. So 41 is going to be Monster Train 2. 41, excuse me, is going to be Monster Train 2. 40 is going to be Monster Train, the first one. And 39 is going to be Wild Frost. This is another Slay the Spire-esque game, but I actually thought that this one was really fun. Had a different twist to when you beat the level that I don't want to spoil, but if you do like Slay the Spire or those types of games, check this one out. Teleform. This game has sat with me quite a bit and keeps moving up on the list. Um, it's a point and click game that is just absolutely insane. I believe it was free to play. It's horror related. It is very creepy, very eerie, and I still want to go back and play more of it. 37 is going to be Tales Beyond the Tomb. This is it's a Fears to Fathom type of games where it's story narrative and you're kind of playing the story. They are phenomenal, but they're slowly dropping down on my list a little bit just because there's so many better games out there we've played this year. 36 is Old Market Simulator. This was a fun game that we streamed for a little bit. It is a simulator game where you run a market and you got to balance the crafting and buying and selling and maintaining your little market space. It's a fun little game. 35 is Massacre at the Mirage. This is a on rails horror story that has some pretty crazy plot points and a lot of very clippable material. Overall, it's not the greatest horror game because you don't really have any freedom to do anything. You're kind of just interacting and playing this story, but it was a good time. 34 is Peglin. This is if Slay the Spire and Peggle had a child. It is a lot of fun and very addicting. 33 is 20 Minutes Till Dawn. This is a Vampire Survivors clone that has some awesome artwork and really fun designs, but it is just Vampire Survivors on a different skin. Number 32 is Bramble the Mountain King. This is a Little Nightmares kind of game where you are running around playing an old, I believe it was Irish folk tale. Very awesome, very cool. 31 was Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, we did play Hogwarts Legacy. I did not do all the optional content. We just played the main story. I had a lot of fun with it. If you're a Harry Potter fan in general, you'll love it. If you are someone who likes open world games with lots of freedom and lots of stuff to explore, you'll love it. I like Harry Potter as much as any casual fan might. But this, I mean, it was fun, but I don't know if I'd ever revisit it unless there's some DLC. Gears of War Ultimate Edition. We did spin Gears of War on our wheel, went back and played the original one. It's still as great as I remember. Had a blast going through it again as an adult. Fable Anniversary. Surprisingly, a lot of fun getting back to that game. Another one from my childhood, and it stood the test of time for the most part. There were some parts that were kind of silly, but overall, a good game to revisit. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. This is a Souls-like game that the longer it sits with me, the more I enjoy it. It has some awesome movement, a pretty decent storyline, and very difficult bosses. Our little fox friend on screen assists us as we traverse this very unique world, and I did have a good time playing this game, even through the challenging parts. 27 is The Cabin Factory, a game that, God, I hope they make more stuff with this. Basically, you are a employee for some mysterious company, and you have to explore these cabins in a factory. These cabins are like haunted house prompts, but some of them are actually haunted. So you have to go in there, and it's all the same cabin, and you have to look for anomalies and mark if it was haunted or not. You have to get 10 right in a row, and then there's some stuff that happens that I won't spoil. It is a very creepy short game. All right, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So this was the first one that they did that was an open world type game. God, there was parts of it that were decent and a lot of it that wasn't. I didn't really care for the change to this like very, brightly colored characters, band music. I don't know. It didn't really hit that well for me. 25 is This Game Trying to Kill Me. Man, I hope one day more people talk about this game because it was so awesome. You're playing a game and playing a game inside the game, and you got to interact with all of it. It's a puzzle escape room type game, an absolute blast. 24, the original Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not the best in the series by any means, but it does deserve some respect since it was from the beginning. This was the beginning roots, man, and it was a fun difficult challenge. 23, I'm going to put Sister Location, another of the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. 22, I'm going to put Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. I'm not going to talk too much about the Freddy games because I'm kind of coming off of the hype of beating all these games, and I'm very curious to see where my mindset is after we eventually move away from everything Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's, and maybe come November, December, we've jumped into different games and beat more games. I'm going to redo this list when we get to whatever our end number is. I don't think we'll get to 100 games beat this year, but maybe 60 or 70. I'm very curious to see where my head's at then with these Five Nights at Freddy's games, if they're still going to resonate with me as high as they are right now. 21 was Poppy Playtime. Now, Poppy Playtime is an incomplete game. There is at least one more chapter coming out, but for the chapters that are out right now, it is an amazing game. Highly recommend if you like any type of horror, 90s aesthetic, creepy, crawly type games. It is phenomenal. 20, I'm going to put Five Nights at Freddy's 2. 19, we got to put Balatro on this list. Balatro, one of the best card games ever made. It is a absolute blast to play, very difficult, very challenging, and you get hooked. I think I've put a good 50, 60 hours in Balatro just this year. Okay, Vampire Survivors. We talked about a Vampire Survivor clone. I did get back into Vampire Survivors again this year, put a good 30, 40 hours, got through most of the content. It is peak. It's very challenging and very fun. 17, all of the Fears to Fathom games. I feel like these have been made popular over the last couple of years. They are really fun to play. They're very unique stories. You gotta love Ironbark Lookout is one of the creepiest ones on the list. I really enjoy these games. 16, I'm gonna put Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. Probably that'll be a surprise to a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans that I have this higher than FNAF 2, but I actually really enjoyed Secret of the Mimic, and I feel like they took what was so peak about Ruin, which we will see on this list shortly, and kind of made it into Secret of the Mimic. And lo and behold, number 15 is Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin DLC. So Ruin DLC is a downloadable content for Security Breach, and it made the game way better, way more scary. It's dark, it's twisted, it's gloomy. It's what Security Breach could have been. If all of Security Breach, the whole 15 hours of that game, was like the Ruin DLC, that game would be getting way more praise than it does. Number 14, we're going to put, Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Arguably the best in the franchise. I have a lot to say about the game, and I'm going to save it for my reviews. I do really love Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I felt like it was they took a big step with that game, and I feel like it was in the right direction. Number 13, and this might also be a surprise, we played The Joy of Creation, which is a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. And as I sit right now, I am playing it at this current moment. I'm recording this on 9/14. We are still stuck on the attic. But I personally believe this is the most enjoyable Five Nights at Freddy's content to play. Like, to actually play, I feel like it is the best. It is the most scary. It's the creepiest. And the story is awesome. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that the other games aren't good. They are very good, but I feel like Joy of Creation is just, it takes it to a different level, makes it way more scary. Number 12, we're going to put Bendy and the Ink Machine. I absolutely love the art style, still love this game to death. I hope that we get to play Dark Revival by the end of the year. We'll see how things go. Number 11 is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1. We went through this old classic not too long ago, and it's still a lot of fun. Number 10, Halo Combat Evolved, where Master Chief started. Absolute classic, still holds up to this day. Number 9, Alien Isolation. As Alien Earth rolls out, and there's so many Easter eggs to Alien Isolation in that game, this is only making me love Alien Isolation more and more. Number 8, Mass Effect 1, an absolute classic. If you've never played the Mass Effect games, pick up the Legendary Edition when it's on sale. You will not be disappointed. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 1 Remaster. I mean, guys, it's peak for a reason. The first game is not as good as the second game, in my opinion, but the first game is still phenomenal. 6, Ghostwire Tokyo, a game that kind of came out of nowhere for me. Visually stunning, story is amazing. Combat is fun. Even in an open world game where I get kind of bored with the combat, I felt like throughout the whole thing I was having fun. Number 5, the Silent Hill 2 remake. As it sat with me longer and longer, the more and more I realized that this game is phenomenal. It might creep up even more on this list as time goes on. Number 4, Secret of Mana. The first time I ever played it, we did play the remade version, not the original version. It is I don't even know, man. It is one of the best JRPGs I've played. Number 3, Detroit Become Human. Very relevant in 2025 with AI and where we're going in the world. If you've never played Detroit Become Human, do yourself a favor. Hop in there. It's a game where your decisions impact your story, and it shows you how different and how many different options they are. It is a wonderful game. Number 2, Control. A game that I think about on the regular because I am a fan of the conspiracy world, and this game sure does hit that right on the head. And then without any surprise, I don't think my number 1 game of the year is still Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I don't think it will be beat. I don't see a world where this isn't game of the year, and I don't see a world where this isn't it doesn't go down the history books as one of the most enjoyable games in the past 15 years. It is peak. The hate is very forced for this game. If you're hating on this game, you need to take the stick out of the place where it's at. Have some fun. Stop living in the past. Like we don't get a lot of games like this anymore. We really don't. They took turn-based and gave it a spin and made it enjoyable for new age gamers. It is good, I promise you. So that's my ranking of the 51 games that I've beat so far this year. Let me know if you've played any of these, if you would change anything around, if you disagree with where I place some of these. I'd love to discuss in the comments. I do reply, and I love going back and forth with all you guys and hearing your opinions because I keep mine very open and they can be swayed. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.